So definitely a cutter and definitely 6 from JC.
The DBS Morning News has been brought to you by Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League T20. See cricket played louder at CPL.
Good morning. Welcome again to DBS This Morning. What a beautiful day in the Helen of the West. I am privileged to be part of it. I'm hoping that you're feeling that way as well. Listen, we've got 2 amazing features. We've got some highlights from the Emancipation celebration that took place on the 1st. That is going to be coming your way. We also have another feature for you this morning. But it is now time for us to tap into the news desk and let's find out what's happening there.
Good morning. We start with news that tensions are high at the Bodley Correctional Facility as correctional officers continue to seek redress from the government on several outstanding grievances. The latest response from the government regarding these matters has not satisfied the officers.
As far as we are concerned, no action was taken by the ministry. The letter gave us no updates as to how the outstanding issues and grievances would be addressed. Our membership have asked for dialogue with the Ministry of Home Affairs, Minister of Home Affairs, the Prime Minister, and the Ministry of the Public Service so that they could get answers to the many questions that they have in relation to the letter.
On Monday, the executive of the Correctional Services Welfare Association wrote to the Prime Minister and the Home Affairs Minister requesting separate meetings. They hope to get definitive answers on the resolution of the outstanding matters following those 2 meetings. Police news on Tuesday, August 1st. Officers attached to the Vieux-Fort police station received the report of a shooting at Bruceville in Vieux-Fort. On arrival, the officers observed the body of Marvin Joseph, a 21-year-old of Belvedere Street, Vieux-Fort, with multiple gunshot wounds about his body. He was transported to the St. Jude Hospital via ambulance and was later pronounced dead by a medical practitioner. A post-mortem examination is scheduled for a later date, and investigations are ongoing into this incident. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is urging anyone with information regarding this shooting to call the Vieux-Fort Police Station at 456-3906, that's 456-3906, 285-2146, or the crime hotline at 555 for anonymous reporting. The 12.5% VAT exemption on selected items commenced yesterday, August 2nd. The 0% VAT rate is applied to some building materials such as plywood, cement, steel and galvanized, solar photovoltaic systems and their installation, as well as feminine hygiene products.
We expect that this 12.5% VAT reduction, aimed at improving consumer spending power, will be reflected in the reduced cost of these supplies once all other factors remain constant, including the cost of importing these goods and related inputs. Consumers are encouraged to maximize this window of opportunity to undertake the construction of residential and commercial properties, to carry out long-delayed but essential home remodeling, reinforcement and renovation projects.
The measure will remain in effect until August 1st, 2025. As part of its community outreach, the Youth Ministry of the Bocage Seventh-day Adventist Church held a community cleanup on Tuesday. The activity saw the clearing of garbage mainly in the Ravin Shabot area as well as some parts of Bocage.
We believe that we can impact the community in many different ways. And one of the ways that we believe as a church we can do so is by coming out and cleaning the area. I believe that, when persons see us in the area doing those things, they see that we're not only concerned about spiritual things, but we are concerned about the physical environment. And we believe our impact here would show the community that we want to reach them in all aspects. As Christ engaged in his ministry, he went, to different events. He went to a wedding. And we ourselves, we are in a cleanup campaign, and we're doing it because we know that cleanliness is next to godliness.
The Youth Ministry of the Bocage SDA Church is expecting more participation when it conducts the next phase of its cleanup campaign. Those are your top stories. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
Thank you, News Desk. We will be right back. First feature. Recently we had reason to be up on the moon, and we caught up with a representative for the Caribbean, or for St. Lucia rather, for the Macmillan Education group. They do publications of educational material, and they've been around for 70 years. They're celebrating their 70th anniversary, and it was a joy to just catch up with them, because I'm sure some of you parents remember that particular name when you're purchasing books around this time of year. And you saw that, Macmillan. I've seen so much of that in my lifetime. If you have kids going to school, you would have definitely been able to identify that name right there and that logo right there, because they do quite a lot in terms of the provision of our students' education material, the books. And we're here with this lovely lady who's going to introduce herself. They are celebrating their 70th anniversary, Macmillan. How are you? What's your name? Just give us your name and your designation real quick.
Okay, my name is Simfarosa Bailey, and I'm the local consultant for Macmillan Education Caribbean in St. Lucia. So I represent St. Lucia. And I'm doing very well. I'm doing fine, thanks.
Wonderful,
yes.
Great. Now, for a little insight, because you know sometimes we head hot, we go and pick up the books, so we ain't checking resale. We just know when the book list come, they say Macmillan so and so and so. But by the time that's done, we want to forget that process so much that we don't remember. So give us a little insight. 70 years, that's your 70th anniversary. So Macmillan Education Caribbean has been around for 70 years now.
Macmillan Education is a renowned publishing company in the UK, and they have lots of representatives in all the OECS countries. Now, Macmillan's vision is to support the learning and teaching environment of teachers. And what they do, they support it and they enhance the learning teaching environment for teachers. And one of the ways in which they do that is to ensure that they meet the curriculum needs of the students. And also they ensure that the books that they provide, both primary and secondary, meet the OECS learning standards. So today we are here because of the math camp, and Macmillan has partially sponsored this camp because Macmillan is all about education. Right. And what they have done, they have provided lots of teaching, learning materials, resources for teachers. So here I have a giveaway section. This is a teachers' giveaway section. And they've also provide support in the form of stationery items for the teachers, and also financial support for snacks and juice and for refreshments.
Right.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yes,
That's
it is.
amazing. That's
it
amazing.
Is.
But let me generalize it now, because 70 years providing in that department, that critical department, 70 years is not that's not a short space of time. You know, that's quite a number of service that we are talking about they're providing for our education system within our fabric here in St. Lucia. So let's talk about the 70th anniversary. What are some of the things that are on the cards as part of this celebration or recognition?
Okay, as part of the 70th anniversary, what we do, we have, as I said, we have a lot of giveaway sections, and where we give free materials. We also give away samples of revised texts that we have in store. And we have a series of webinars, we have workshops for teachers, especially for the CPEA exams. Yes. We sent out lots of revision links to teachers to help them prepare the students for the CPEA exams. So we have lots of things happening, and then we have this grand conference which is going to be held in London in November, and I'm looking forward to being part of this.
Are you going over?
Sure, most definitely.
You heard I jump into the English. Yeah. Are you going over?
So we give away. We have some bags as well to celebrate our 70th anniversary. Yes.
Right. What is the future? 70 years, strong, certainly strong, because you don't get to sit around for 7 years if something was not working. What is the future for Macmillan and education within the Caribbean?
Okay, so let me just correct you here. I am representing St. Lucia.
Right.
Because Macmillan has representatives in all the OECS countries.
I said St. Lucia.
So my main focus here is St. Lucia. Okay. Right. So what my role here is to promote and to market Macmillan's textbooks. So what I do, I go around the schools and I produce samples. I give the teachers samples. So I meet with heads of departments, I meet with the principals, and they use these textbooks as learning resource materials. Presently, they are not on, some of them are not on the book list because it has to be approved by the Ministry of Education. So as a result of this, the teachers are now using it as supplementary textbooks. So the parents will go out there, they'll go to Nathaniel bookstore, Better Nathaniel. She's our main distributor, and she's the one who orders the books so that the parents can get it. So what we have here is just a sample of books that we offered. And since it's a math textbook, a math summer camp, I only have math textbooks here. But we cater for both the primary section and also the secondary section as well. Yeah. But as I said, the main focus moving forward is to ensure that all Macmillan textbooks are on the book list so that the teachers can use them because they are child friendly, the content is it's environmentally friendly, it caters for the holistic development of the children. So what I'm trying to do is to push as much as I can to enable the Ministry of Education to see the value of those books so that these books can be on the book list, and then we can have most of the schools utilizing our textbooks.
So what is the teachers' now approach to this? Because if it is books that are definitely enhancing their teaching experience, would they be a channel to go through to get through to the ministry as well?
The process. So the teachers are enthusiastic about the books. They love the textbooks, and most of them are purchasing the textbooks, as I say, as supplementary text. But that's what we can do for now. We have to wait until there is a book review section coming on where they're going to invite other publishers so that they can decide which textbook that they can use in the schools. But for now, we just some of the books, as I said, they are supplementary texts. Yeah. But the teachers are embracing it, and as a matter of fact, they're asking me to purchase the books, but I'm directing them to the bookstore because I don't sell books. I only market and promote books.
Oh, wonderful. Well, there you go. Congratulations on their 70th anniversary, and let's hope and let's put a little something out in the universe that you get to that stage where you can see your books being part of the book list like you'd like.
Yes. Oh, most certainly, this is my dream that one day we will have as many of the books as possible on our book list. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much,
Thank
and
you.
enjoy the rest of the anniversary, and I hope you get to go over to London like you want to.
Yes, thank you very much.
And in our second feature, some highlights from what transpired on the 1st of August right here in St. Lucia. Emancipation celebration was a hit.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Somebody sing freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, 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 freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more weeping, no more weeping. Don't you know there's no more, no more weeping, no more weeping over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Hi everyone, my name is Candy Nicholas and I'm an holistic health coach, and it's a pleasure to be here with you this morning. So let's talk about gut health. From a few years ago, we have been bombarded with information about gut health as we have come to realize that it determines every aspect of our overall health. The health of the community of microbes living in and on our bodies, and we're talking about 100 trillion single-cell organisms outnumbering human cells 10 to 1, has become a top priority. Because as I said earlier, gut bacteria regulate many of our bodily functions, from creating vitamins to controlling our immune systems to brain function, and of course our metabolism and weight, among many, many other very important functions. Meanwhile, modern living, our very interesting lifestyle choices, they've been hard on those little bugs that we so need. The standard Western diet is impoverished of the things our beneficial gut bacteria require. All the chemicals from processed food and the environmental toxins we take in only make the situation worse. Our guts become damaged when we eat a processed diet that's high in sugar and starch, when we don't eat enough fiber, prebiotics, when we take too many gut-busting drugs like antibiotics, acid blockers for reflux, anti-inflammatories, hormones, and many others. Now, I just want to stick a disclaimer in here that sometimes these medications are absolutely necessary, but we also have to be mindful of the effect that it has on our gut so we can reverse it. So we need to think of our guts as an inner garden. Just as with any garden, when you let the weeds take over, you get into trouble. We are home to 500 different species of microbes. Some of them help us, but others are harmful. Many of us have too few bacteria in our intestines where they do us the most good. Others have an overgrowth of the bad kind, which causes its own problems. Not enough of the good bacteria and too much of the bad can lead to intestinal disorders like irritable bowel syndrome, leaky gut, and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, but also chronic inflammation, depression, even cancer and heart disease. So it's our job to encourage the good microbes by feeding them things they need and avoiding things that damage them. Meanwhile, we have to starve the bad bacteria by avoiding the foods and other forces that allow them to thrive. Not surprisingly, good bacteria love healthy, whole, organic, plant-based foods, ones that are high in fiber and nutrients and contain no artificial ingredients. One of the biggest questions that I get asked when I tell people they need to eat more fiber is, what are good sources of fiber? So, of course, all of your fruits and veggies, healthy grains, hopefully we could access ones that haven't been sprayed with the same fertilizers and pesticides that lead to more issues with our gut. So just enjoy a lot of fiber. Let's simplify it. Let's just enjoy a lot of fiber-rich food and fruits and veggies, things that come as nature intended for them to. Good bacteria also benefit from foods that have been fermented or cultured, like some of which that are very widely available locally now, not just in the supermarket, but shout out to It's Alive, which is a local fermentary where I have been able to access, and a lot of other people access, fermented foods. So what you want to do is eat a diet that is rich in foods that are naturally full of fiber, like, of course, fruits and vegetables. Good bacteria also benefits from foods that have been fermented or cultured. A lot of these are now locally available, not just in the supermarkets, but I love to go to It's Alive, and shout out to It's Alive for making fermented foods available. Now, when you go to the supermarket, though, you have to be careful that it hasn't been pasteurized, because if you're buying sauerkraut that has been pasteurized, you're defeating the purpose because the good bacteria would have been killed. So you want foods that have been naturally fermented and that are unpasteurized. So we could also look at things like pickled vegetables. Kimchi is also a Korean version of fermented vegetables. So fruit, I've been able to get that in the supermarket as well. Miso, tamari, tempeh, tofu is sometimes fermented, naturally fermented soy sauce, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar with the mother, unsweetened coconut yogurt. If you're eating the right things, you may also still need some outside assistance with maintaining plenty of diversity in your gut bacteria. So that's what prebiotic and probiotic supplements are for. Prebiotics feed the microbes, because something that happens a lot is we take probiotics, but we don't take the prebiotics that feed the probiotics and help them to survive and thrive and multiply. The best way to determine if probiotics work for you and which ones to choose is to work with a health coach like me or a functional medicine practitioner. Everyone is different, and for some people, deeper gut health might be required before you start taking probiotics. So what happens is, if you haven't weeded out the bad bacteria and you've just started introducing lots of good bacteria, you can cause a lot of issues with your gut. So with your natural health practitioner, you can determine whether you have an overgrowth of bad bacteria which needs to be addressed. So the standard I like to use is to weed. So you weed out the bad, then seed, you give probiotics, and then you feed those probiotics. So weed, seed, feed is the standard I go by. By the way, if you want to work directly with me, there is a way to do that, which I will tell you about if you go to my Instagram page. So this has been a pleasure. There are so many more things that we could touch on when we talk about gut health, but we have to end here for today, and we'll talk some more about gut health the next time.
And well, there you have it. That's our show for today. Join us tomorrow right here again for another DBS This Morning.
Definitely a cutter, and definitely 6 from JC.
The DBS Morning News has been brought to you by Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League T20. See cricket played louder at CPL.